What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insane battles in the Holiday Cup submitted to the channel by X-Boston, who you've probably seen featured on Jamie Finn's channel quite a lot. He's running a triple shadow team as you'd expect, with Alolan Raticate, Golurk and Amoonguss, so an incredibly spicy team. I believe he also goes on an 8-game win streak as well, so with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What has been your favourite spice pick to run in the Holiday Cup meta? Let me know in the comments section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle is Shadow Alolan Raticate into Vigoroth, so an absolutely awful lead. Gonna save swap into our Shadow Golurk. That is also a hard response to the Vigoroth as well, so not ideal because we can now not align it unless we take out the Shadow Charizard, which is unlikely, but it could be possible. These are resisted Mud Saps, and we've nearly got Charizard into the yellow health already. We actually have, with that Mud Sap that registers, we now go for the Shadow Punch, taking out the Shadow Charizard. They come back in with the Vigoroth. We've been able to flip switch advantage. We're now going to let the move go through as the opponent goes for the Rock Slide. That is enough damage to take us out from that range, and now we come in with our Amoonguss. Now, unfortunately, they are going to be double resisting the Astonish damage, but we do charge to our charge moves reasonably quickly here. We're going to go for a Foul Play. Foul Play is not going to be enough damage to take out the Vigoroth, but we got the final shield, and then we actually swap into our Alolan Raticate, and the opponent swaps out. That is a very interesting play, but we can now go for a crunch, getting the Magnezone incredibly low to the point where we can safely let the Wild Charge go through, get the Astonish farm down, and we can very easily make it to a Grass Knot. We're going to have to use a shield here, but we do have one shield remaining, so Body Slam gets a final shield. We can go for the Grass Knot, and Foul Play wouldn't take them out, but a Grass Knot will be enough damage to take out the Vigoroth, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Alolan Raticate into Altaria, so I would quite like to see us go straight for a Hyper Beam in this matchup, and the opponent here is, well, okay, we're actually going to go for a Crunch, making sure to throw before the opponent makes it to a Moonblast. They do let it go through. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that much damage. We're going to have to throw another Charge Move to get rid of them, but we will correctly shield up the Moonblast, and now we're going to overfarm massively, actually going for a full Quick Attack farm down. That is absolutely huge, and now we swap into our Shadow Golurk, and the opponent is core broken by the Golurk. We are down one shield though, so unfortunately Lantern can flip this matchup if they want to. We're actually going to no shield the Surf here. Surf is going to be enough damage to take out the Golurk, but that's fine. We've got our Amoonguss. We can completely wall the energy from the Lantern, probably farm to the back-to-back charge moves before we do end up throwing a charge move to get rid of the Lantern. We're actually going to go a little bit short, go for a Foul Play, and Foul Play will be enough damage to take out the Lantern, and now we can make it to a Grass Knot. The opponent makes it to a charge move. We're going to let this move go through as they go for a Body Slam. We're going to go for the Grass Knot. We've seen already Grass Knot does big damage, but the opponent uses their shield, so now we can swap back into the Raticate, go straight for the Hyper Beam, one-shotting the Vigoroth, and we're able to take that game. Into next game, Raticate into another Vigoroth, so not great once again. Gonna save swap into our hard counter in the Shadow Golurk. The opponent banks a ton of energy. That is a huge mistake here, as now we've got so much energy. We can very easily flip this matchup here. Gonna go for the back-to-back Shadow Punches, grabbing a shield with the first one. This one probably won't grab a shield, but now we can just safely shield this up and go for the full Mud Sap farm down. The opponent is only gonna make it to one Surf before we get the farm down, so we still have so much health remaining as well, which is really good for us. The opponent then comes in with Skeledirge, so it makes sense now. They were absolutely core broken. Well, their entire team loses to the Shadow Golurk, but we're actually going to swap there, and we do manage to swap out there before the Incinerate damage registers, so we still got a decent amount of health left on our Shadow Golurk. We make it to a crunch up against the Vigoroth, and this crunch is going to do some nice damage. It might even put them into Astonish farm down range here, although unfortunately we don't get an Astonish through as we come in, so probably not actually. These Astonishes are not doing much damage whatsoever, but it doesn't matter. We're going to tank the Rock Slide as well. Honestly, we can just stay in, force the opponent to throw their energy, because yes, we can make it to a charge move on our Shadow Golurk. We're going to shield just in case, but we get the Mud Sap farm down anyways, and we can even go for one extra Mud Sap and throw a full charge move before the Incinerate damage registers, and we're able to take out the Skeledirge there and take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Lantern in the lead. So we've got two Pokemon that are a little bit better just in terms of like actually dealing super effective damage. So we might swap out of this matchup eventually, but also we're not seeing Vigoroth, so we're probably just going to stay in because there probably is a Vigoroth on the opponent's team. So now we're going to go for the back-to-back crunches. The first crunch going to be no shielded, and then we swap, we catch the move onto Amoonguss. That's really nice. We bank a crunch and we take a resisted charge move as well. Unfortunately, the opponent responds with an Aurorus, which is going to do a lot of damage with the Weather Ball. So we're going to use our shield. We're actually going to throw it on alignment here, going for a Grass Knot. Doesn't really matter since they will be able to very easily outpace us to the next charge move anyways, and they do throw straight away. So we miss out on maybe one Astonish going through, which doesn't make much of a difference. We are now going to wait out the switch clock, come back in with the Raticate, go straight for that crunch, and crunch is going to put them into farm down range for the Golurk, but we're going to stay in, force the opponent to throw their energy, because now we can come in with the Golurk, get the Mudslap farm down before they make it to the next charge move, and actually only one Mudslap is needed to take them out there, and the opponent has a Palossand in the back. So we're going to go for the Shadow Punch as soon as we get there. Shadow Punch will not quite take them out from this range, but these Mudslaps are seriously chunking. The opponent probably needs to try and make a catch here. So they go for a Scorching Sands, and they don't get the debuff, and we make it to Shadow Punch number 2. This will be enough damage to take out the Palossand, and then we can just very easily Mudslap, farm down the Lantern, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Alolan Raticate into Gourgeist. So this is actually actually they're running Razor Leaf, so it's not as nearly as good a matchup as I thought it was going to be if they were running Hex, because this is going to be neutral damage against us. And then safe swap into Vigoroth, and now we can hard punish them with the Shadow Golurk. The unfortunate thing here is that to take them out, we either need to go for a Dynamic Punch or use one shield and go for the full farm down. We are going to go for the Dynamic Punch here. We have farmed up quite a lot, but I don't think we're going to make it to a charge move up against the Gourgeist because they are running Razor Leaf, which is unfortunate, but now we can double resist the Razor Leaf damage, come in with our Shadow Amoonguss, gonna shield up the Shadow Ball correctly, which is great for us. At this point, we can probably just fully farm them down. No, we're gonna go for the Foul Play here, might as well play it safe. Foul Play will be taking out the Gourgeist, and the opponent has a Rock Throw, Alolan Graveler in the back. We're gonna go straight for the Grass Knot, and Grass Knot is going to grab the final shield from the opponent. We swap into our Raticate, we make it to a Crunch, and Crunch is going to do quite a lot of damage in this matchup. It gets them fairly low, to the point where hopefully we can just Astonish farm them down, but it will be very close. If they're at back-to-back charge moves, we might end up losing this game, but they weren't. Rock Throw is a very slow charging fast move, and we're able to take them out with an Astonish and take that game. So 5-0 in the first set with this team, with multiple Vigoroths in the lead, is a pretty good start to the battles. And now we're going to see Charge Bug in the lead. Unfortunately, this is not a good matchup for us, but we can't really swap into our Amoonguss either, just because it's not that great of a match. Well, actually, it is a pretty decent matchup since we do resist the fast move, and then also the X is only going to be neutral damage, but we're going to swap into our Golurk, and once again, the opponent swapping into Lantern. That is not a good idea. We're going straight for Dynamic Punch, dealing huge damage. They do make it to a Surf, but that's fine. We can just safely shield this up. Actually, no, we're going to choose not to shield up the Golurk there. Come in, get the Astonish farm down with the Amoonguss, and the opponent's going to come in with a Chestnut, so this is looking pretty good for us. We can go for a Grass Knot. Unfortunately, all charge moves are going to be resisted, but the same can be said for the opponent here, as they can only go for Superpower or Frenzy Plant, which is double resisted. We are going to shield the first one just in case. They go for Energy Ball, which is actually even worse than Frenzy Plant. Perfectly fine with us. We're now going to shield up the X-Scissor, going to overfarm just a little bit, go for a Foul Play. Foul Play should be enough damage from this range to take out the Charger Bug, and we should be able to make it to a Grass Knot up against the Chestnut as well. And from this range, a resisted Grass Knot takes out the Chestnut, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next match, we Raticate into Haunter. So this is a very good matchup for the Raticate. The opponent safe swaps into their Altaria. Last time we saw the opponent no shielded, so this time they actually don't farm up to the potential Moonblast. So Sky Attack will be no shielded. We're gonna full send the Hyper Beam. Can we connect this time around? No, unfortunately, we're not able to do so, and they might be able to Dragon Breath bottom us down, but we do at least make it to one final crunch. This will not be enough damage to take them out, but it does put them into range where hopefully, especially with the debuff there, we can just Astonish, farm them down with the Amoonguss. So we're going to shield this up. Obviously, Sky Attack will do a lot of super effective damage. Can we get the farm down? Yes, we're able to get the farm down before they make it to the next charge move. We then swap into our Shadow Golurk, and once again, the opponent has a Lantern in the back. We are dealing huge damage with the Mud Zaps. We go for the Shadow Punch. The opponent uses their final shield, and at this point we can just safely let this go down once again, save our shield for the Amoonguss, and we should be looking pretty good. All we have to do is farm to the back-to-back charge moves. We can safely let this move go through as well. Even if they go for a Thunderbolt, that does not do much damage. Foul Play from this range should probably take them out, and it does take out the Lantern. We have a second Foul Play loaded. And this will easily one-shot a Haunter, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, Altaria in the lead once again. So just going to stay in this matchup. This is our best matchup up against Altaria. And the opponent, I think, once again, not farming to the Moonblast. So we're going to let it go through. It is just a Sky Attack. We are once again going to full send the Hyper Beam. Can we connect this time around? Yes, we can. It actually still doesn't quite take them out there. Altaria, incredibly bulky, but we do get the Quick Attack farm down, and the opponent comes in with a Talonflame. This is certainly not ideal, but I really like that play there. Swapping out, banking some of the energy, because obviously an Incinerate would have taken us out there, but we go for 4 Quick Attacks, swap and transfer the Incinerate damage onto our Golurk. So if we come back in with the Raticate at a later date, we only need one more fast move to make it to the Crunch. So that is actually quite a smart play there. We also make it to the Shadow Punch up against the Talonflame here. Shadow Punch grabs the shield from the opponent. They will be able to farm us down, but if they don't throw straight away, we're going to make it to the Crunch with our Raticate. And now I think we're just going to depend on there being a Lantern in the back, and there it is. It's always Lantern in the back, and we are looking absolutely golden right now. We can go straight for the Grass Knot, and Grass Knot from nearly full health doesn't quite take them out there, but it doesn't matter. We can tank anything they throw. We can tank a second charge move as well, no problem at all. Get the Astonish farm down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we can see a Alolan Raticate into double. Not ideal since they are running double kick as the fast move. We're going to swap and yet another Lantern meeting our Shadow Golurk. That is just not the right play whatsoever. We're going for the Shadow Punch. They let that go through. It's a CMP tie, and I think at this point we can take them out in just 4 Mud Slaps, which will be the same amount of turns as it takes the opponent to make it to the next surf, so they don't get there in time. And now we flip switch advantage. We've got a lot of energy. What does the opponent want to do? They're going to come back in with their double, so we're going straight for the Dynamic Punch here. Dynamic Punch grabs a shield from the opponent, and the opponent is going to have to go for a payback to take us out. We're happy to no shield, and the opponent does full send the payback there, so fine with us. We're now going to come in with the Amoonguss. Unfortunately, once again, another normal type, so they are going to be double resisting the Astonish damage. They go for a Body Slam that does an okay amount of damage there. We're actually going to go for a Foul Play. This is a bait. I don't think it will take them out from this range, and it doesn't really do that much damage at all, really, so not ideal for us as they go for a Body Slam, but at this point we should be putting them into range where we can Quick Attack farm them down. So we swap into our Raticate, the opponent goes for the Body Slam, and they have a Vigoroth in the back, unfortunately, so this is not looking too good for us. We are going to shield this up as the opponent goes for a Body Slam, and we do make it to a Crunch, but there's just not going to do enough damage here. So Crunch goes unshielded by the opponent, and they can just counter, farm us down, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But into next game, we're going to see Talonflame in the lead, so we're going to stay in this lead matchup. Once again, this is where we want to see it, since we've got a Pokemon that only deals resisted fast move damage, or we've got a Pokemon that is weak to fire and flying. So we are going to grab an early shield from the opponent. We are going to let the move go through as they go for a Flame Charge. We should be able to make it to a Crunch here just before they take us out. So this is really good. Crunch probably still doesn't quite take them out from this range, but we grab both shields from the opponent, so that's absolutely fine with us. The opponent goes for 1 extra Incinerate. They're going to go for a charge move. Probably just going to continue to boost their attack with the Flame Charges, but that's fine. We can go for a Shadow Punch. We throw it after 2 there just because we don't want the boosted Incinerate damage to register on the 3rd Mud Slap there. So the opponent has a Charm Ninetales in the back, and we are core breaking them with the Amoonguss. We can just safely let this move go through. We've seen already Grass Knot doesn't quite take them out there, but it should put them into perfect farm down range, potentially before the opponent even makes it to the next charge move. Actually, no, it does just take them out from that range, so potentially a worse IV Lantern there. Doesn't really matter though, as we've still got another Grass Knot loaded. This is not super effective. We're not running Sludge Bomb, but it doesn't matter. It still does huge damage. We get the Astonish farm down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Dunsparce in the lead, so a fairly neutral lead matchup here. Probably just going to stay in, at least initially. We might eventually swap out, but it's not really necessary. Gonna let the Rock Slide go through. 2 rock sides will not be enough damage to take us out, so we're going to go for the crunch straight away. Crunch does do a bit more damage than the rock side, so a second crunch will definitely threaten a shield, or it will be enough damage to just take them out here. We've got to be careful in case the opponent tries to snipe us with a counter user like Vigoroth, but no, the opponent lets their move go down there, and we are still able to make it to a crunch with our Raticate. That's amazing for us, as it does grab the first shield from the opponent, but they do get quite a nice farm down, and they do make it to a charge move here, so we're going to shield this up. We will be able to outpace them to the next charge move, so the opponent swaps into their Palo Sand. We're going to go straight for the Shadow Punch. Shadow Punch goes unshielded, so now we just swap into our Moongus. We can just safely let this move go through. Scorching Sands doesn't debuff our attack, doesn't do too much damage either. Unfortunately, they will be able to incinerate, farm us down though, so that's not ideal for us. But I think we can just Mudslap, farm them down from this range. They're not going to get too much energy since we were fairly low, and we do very easily farm them down with the Mudslap damage, and we're able to take that game. Into next game, another Altaria in the lead, so just going to stay in this lead matchup here. We've seen us go for Hyper Beam a few times. This time we're just going to go for a crunch here. This probably doesn't grab a shield because we're going for that crunch, but once again we get the defense drop, which is really nice. Gonna shield, and it is the Moonblast this time around. They then swap into Vigoroth, and now we can come in with our Shadow Golurk, and this is looking pretty good. We're gonna let the first move go through as the opponent is gonna go for a Body Slam, not even sending the rock side there. So now we can actually tank another charge move if they do throw a move there. But we're gonna go for a Dynamic Punch, go for the undercharge. It still takes them out. They come back in with the Altaria, and Shadow Punch probably doesn't quite KO from this range, but it will do a lot of damage. So the opponent used their shield. Can we make it to one final move? No, we're not able to do so. That is really unfortunate, and we didn't quite have a crunch loaded. Can we live a Sky Attack from this range though? Sky Attack doesn't quite take us out, and they've got Lantern in the back, and this is now looking good. Although, unfortunately, with our Raticate in the back, I'm not sure if we will live a Dragon Breath to get off that crunch in the end game. So it might be all up to a Moongus to win this game. We're going to go for a pretty unnecessary bait here, and the opponent calls it. I don't know why we went for foul play there. That is definitely not the right play. We're then going to let the Surf go through. I guess we're going to bank or build up to another back-to-back charge moves, but no, we don't even do that. Now, unfortunately, they use their shield. They swap, they snipe with the Altaria. We can get off the crunch, but they've still got a healthy Lantern in the back, and unfortunately, we have just thrown away this game, but it's okay. It happens to all of us. I've thrown away many games recently, some of the worst throws I've ever had, but going into the next battle, the opponent swaps into their Chestnut. Now we are going to be resisting, well, not resisting, sorry, taking neutral damage from the Smackdowns. They go for superpower, and for whatever reason we just let that go through. Okay, now we are definitely making a few errors here, but let's see if we can still pull this one back. I'm going to let the move go through as the opponent goes for another superpower. That still does a decent amount of damage considering it is resisted and they have already debuffed their attack, but we get the full Astonish farm down. We're now going to go for a foul play. The opponent might let this go through. They do let it go through. We swap, we snipe with one Mudslap. That did so much damage to the opponent. We can now go for a Shadow Punch here. Shadow Punch, not going to do that much damage, and they are resisting the Mudslaps, but we're also double resisting the counter damage. Well, they're also double resisting the Mudslaps, so not a lot of fast food pressure in this matchup, but we're now going to go for a Shadow Punch number 2. Shadow Punch is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, and if they go for Ancient Power, we might actually live this, so we're going to no shield. It is the Ancient Power. We do live with like 1 HP and a dream. We make it to the Shadow Punch. We don't quite take them out, but we snipe with the Amoonguss, going for a foul play. This will be taking them out from this range. It looks like the opponent has just exited the app there, because if you're wondering why you get like this weird lag at the end of a game, it's probably because the opponent has just quit the app, and then obviously there's no input from their end, so that's why it takes a lot longer than you'd like it to. But we're able to take that game, and into possibly the final battle of this video, we see Shadow Charizard in the lead, gonna go for a crunch straight away, and the opponent is going to use their shield there. Crunch would do a lot of damage. We do get a debuff, and at this point we might just let this move go through. We do. It's just a Dragon Claw bait, which is really nice for us. We're now going to use our shield as the opponent goes for a second Dragon Claw. They're then going to swap, try and snipe us with their Vigoroth, but we're able to swap out in time, come in with the Shadow Golurk, and we're looking to be in a very good position. They go for the rock side there. We're going to overfarm in this matchup, and we're going to farm Well, we're going to continue to farm here. We should still live this, but it will get us very low as they go for the rock side. We're now going to go for a shadow punch, which is quite an odd decision here. It actually doesn't quite take them out, and they get the counter farm down as well. But now we can come in, get the Astonish farm down, so getting a slight energy advantage might be more beneficial for us. As the opponent comes in with the Charizard, they do make it to another charge move. We're going to use our shield here, and the opponent has a Runarigus in the back, so we're going to go for a foul play once again, going for a bait. This time it is at least super effective damage though, and the opponent no shields that, so if they just let through a Grass Knot, we could have easily won this game. But now the opponent might actually, okay, I think they should have tried to Shadow Claw, farm us down, and then I think we would have been not in a great position. But like that, we're able to get the farm down, and now we can just go for a Grass Knot. This is going to be double resisted, but it takes out the Shadow Charizard, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.